If you're still wrestling with manual tin snips, I need you to stop for a second. An electric metal shear will completely transform the way you cut sheet metal. Cleaner lines, zero hand fatigue, and both sides of the material stay perfectly flat thanks to the double cut system most of these tools use. I've broken down 7 of the best electric metal shears you can get right now, from heavy-duty corded beasts to a genius drill attachment that turns a tool you already own into a sheet metal cutter. All product links are down in the description. Let's get into it. Let's kick things off with a powerhouse. The Wild Edge SEMS5A is the only shear here packing a 5-amp motor, and you feel that extra muscle immediately. Most corded shears top out at 4 amps, so that added torque keeps the blades from bogging down on long cuts. It pushes 2,700 strokes per minute with variable speed, and the 360 swivel head handles curves nicely. At just 4.8 pounds, it delivers the best power-to-weight ratio in its class. Picture a roofing job cutting long stretches of 18-gauge corrugated steel for custom flashing. Lesser tools strain halfway through, but this one just keeps pulling. That 1/4-inch waist ribbon curls away clean, leaving both sides flat and weld-ready with no hammering needed. The variable speed trigger can occasionally feel a bit sticky, so stay mindful of your grip. And while the box says 14-gauge, you'll get the best results treating it as an 18-gauge steel tool, which is where most real projects live anyway. It carries a 1-year warranty, shorter than some competitors, but for raw speed and power in a lightweight package, this one sets the bar. Now let's move to the budget champion. The WEN 3650 proves you don't need to spend big for clean, reliable cuts. 4-amp motor, 2,500 strokes per minute, and WEN has been refreshingly honest with its ratings. 18-gauge sheet metal, 20-gauge stainless, no inflated claims. At 4.7 pounds, your arm won't be screaming after a long session. Here's what sells this tool. You're in the basement modifying a plenum box, trimming 24-gauge galvanized ducting, and what used to be an hour with manual snips becomes 5 minutes flat. Edges come out smooth, burr-free, and the pressure-sensitive trigger lets you ease off speed at the end of a cut to prevent overcutting. Compared to the Wild Edge, you trade that extra amp of power for something equally valuable. A full 2-year warranty backed by a domestic service network with real humans answering the phone. The handle is smooth plastic without a rubberized grip, so it can get slippery with sweaty hands, and there's no lock-on button, meaning your finger stays on the trigger the whole time. For occasional ductwork, siding repairs, or light fabrication though, the value is genuinely unbeatable. Next up is a tool that breaks the mold entirely. The Shal EXD1 looks standard on paper, same 4 amps, same 2,500 strokes per minute. But the blade geometry is tuned to handle way more than metal. Wire mesh, PVC pipe, thick leather, heavy carpet, dense cardboard, this thing eats through all of it. Imagine installing heavy commercial carpet in a big space. You shear perfectly straight strips for the main room, then immediately cut aluminum threshold transitions at every doorway without switching tools. That versatility is a massive time saver on chaotic job sites where you bounce between materials all day. The lock-on button is a welcome addition the WEN lacks, and the 6.5-foot cord gives you solid reach across a full shop table. There is a learning curve with the cutting angle since you need the shear perpendicular to the material, and very thin stuff like 29-gauge steel can occasionally fold between the jaws. Once you nail the technique though, the performance is outstanding. If your work regularly involves more than just metal, this earns its toolbox spot. Alright, here's the game changer. The DeWalt DCS 494B steps into professional territory as the only cordless option on this list. Running on DeWalt's 20-volt max platform, this 14-gauge double-cut shear frees you from extension cords entirely. True 14-gauge mild steel, 16-gauge stainless, and an integrated LED work light for dark spaces. I used this in a cramped, pitch-black attic modifying ductwork, and the difference was night and day. No 100-foot extension cord from the nearest outlet, no trip hazards on the joists, just unclip and cut with the LED lighting up exactly where blade meets metal. Because it's a shear rather than a reciprocating saw, there's no deafening noise and no hot shards flying at your face. Battery efficiency is impressive too. A 5-amp-hour pack lasts through extensive fabrication sessions. This is a premium investment, especially if batteries and charger are sold separately, and the blade pivot screw can break under sustained heavy loads, so keeping a spare is smart. For daily professional use though, nothing on this list comes close. Moving on to the cleverest pick in the lineup. The DeWalt DWASHRIR drill attachment transforms any 18 or 20 volt impact driver into a capable metal shear with a universal 1/4-inch hex shank. DeWalt, Milwaukee, Makita, whatever brand you own, it snaps right in. Rated for 18 gauge, it handles sheet metal, vinyl siding, and asphalt shingles without hesitation. The bracing arm locks against the drill body so you can operate it one-handed, a big advantage over competitors demanding both hands. There's also an adjustable blade gap screw near the jaws most people overlook. Widen it for thicker materials, tighten it for precision on thin sheet goods. That fine-tuning extends the tool's life as blades gradually wear. The key distinction is this is a single-cut shear, not double-cut. The good side stays flat, the waste side curls wavy. Compared to the full DeWalt cordless, you trade pristine edges and dedicated ergonomics for incredible affordability. Setup instructions could be clearer and cutting straight lines takes practice, but turning your existing driver into a metal cutter is phenomenal value. Now we get to the endurance specialist. The Vevor 4-amp electric metal shear brings thermal management that sets it apart from every other corded option here. The integrated ventilation system keeps internal temperatures stable during extended cutting, where cheaper models overheat after 10 minutes and force you to stop. The dual-finger trigger distributes spring resistance across 2 fingers instead of 1, dramatically reducing hand cramping and giving finer speed control on curves. Hardened steel blades leave smooth, burr-free edges needing 0 secondary grinding. The weight distribution feels slightly front-heavy, which can tire your wrist during intricate freehand cuts, and customer support leans toward online ticketing rather than phone calls. But for high-volume shop fabrication where sustained cutting is the priority, like processing dozens of 20-gauge stainless panels for commercial kitchen backsplashes, this tool's ability to keep running when others need a cooldown is a next-level advantage. Finally, let's close with the roofer's best friend. The Genesis G ES40 is a no-nonsense 4-amp shear with one feature nobody else on this list offers: a built-in belt clip. Sounds minor until you're on a steep roof. You climb the ladder both hands free, unclip the tool from your belt, make your trim cut on aluminum drip edge, and reholster without ever setting a vibrating power tool on a slippery surface. That's a genuine safety upgrade. It comes assembled and ready to cut out of the box, backed by a solid 2-year warranty. Like several tools here, 14 gauge applies to soft aluminum, so keep steel expectations at 18 gauge and you'll be happy. It handles flat panels and flashing beautifully along the length, though cross-cuts over corrugated ribs need a nibbler or angle grinder. Adjusting the swivel head takes 3 hex screws, a bit tedious versus tool-free designs, but the key comes included. Mechanical simplicity is the strength. No fragile electronics, no laser guides, just a reliable machine that does its job year after year. So let's make your decision easy. Best value for home projects? The WEN 3650 with its excellent warranty. Already own a cordless drill? The DeWalt DWASHRIR attachment turns it into a metal cutter for a fraction of the cost. Need more than just metal? The Shal EXD1 handles PVC, leather, and carpet alongside sheet metal. For professional HVAC or any job where cordless freedom matters, the DeWalt DCS 494B is worth every penny. Maximum power in a featherweight package? The WildEdge SEMS5A owns that category. High-volume work where overheating kills productivity? The Vevor keeps cutting when other tools need a break. And if you work at height, that Genesis G ES40 belt clip is a small detail with a massive impact. All links are in the description. Drop a comment if you have questions, and I'll see you in the next one.